Public affairs programming on Look TV is underwritten by the generous support of Pinnell's Restaurant, classic Italian American food since 1922, and Stored Tech, technology solutions for computers, networks, and phone. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
1922, Babe Ruth debuts with the Yankees. WGY signs on air. Exterminator wins the Saratoge Cup, and Pinnell's Restaurant opens its doors for the very first time. For 5 generations, Pinnell's has been preparing delicious Italian food, served in a comfortable, home-like setting where everyone is welcome. 90 years of authentic Italian recipes, 90 years of the freshest ingredients, and 90 years of the finest classic Italian dishes, all made daily by hand. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga dining tradition since 1922.
Most cybersecurity firms deal only with prevention, the systems that block hackers and viruses. Stored Tech knows the root cause is actually good people doing bad things. So we offer a security training program which includes certifying all participants to show they understand the basics.
Technology solutions for computers, networks, and phones. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
The Saratoga City Council meeting, an inside look at the decisions that affect you and our community.
Okay, welcome to our City Council meeting, December 15th. It is 6:55 and we have 2 public hearings on the docket tonight. Anyone who wishes to address the council regarding the first public hearing may now raise your hand in Zoom. We will call your name and take your turn. Please state your name and address and provide your comments. The first public hearing is to amend Chapter 225, alternate side street parking on Walworth Street. And I'll turn it over to Commissioner Dalton if you want to say anything.
The city has received complaints from business owners on Walworth Street that due to an increased amount of on-street vehicle vehicle parking along Walworth Street, motorists are unable to reasonably pass one another. Upon review of this complaint, the city has identified that the increased amount of vehicles that are parked on Walworth Street between Washington Street and Cherry Street has created a dense parking situation, which is preventing motorists from reasonably passing one another. To correct this issue, the city is proposing to implement an alternate side of the street parking regulation to restrict parking to one side of the street each day. So that is what the public hearing is for, and then we will vote on this issue later tonight.
Thank you, Commissioner. So anybody that wishes to speak on this, please raise your hand in Zoom.
I'm not seeing anybody, Mayor.
Somebody's still trying to connect. Anna Plant, I see.
Yeah. I don't see any hands raised on that topic.
Okay, then we will close that public hearing tonight and we'll move on to our second public hearing, which is Congress Park Center PUD extension. I'll turn it over to Commissioner Frank. Are you there?
I don't know where he went.
Mary Masterson, are you in touch with Commissioner Frank?
I think I have his notes. I'm not sure if I have them for this public hearing, but no, I don't have notes for his public hearing.
Okay. Mary, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm here, Mayor.
Okay, so we seem to have lost connection with Commissioner Frank. Do you have any information on the Congress Park Center PUD extension?
Yes.
Could you just read it for us?
Certainly. Okay.
Thank you.
The legislation for Congress Park Center PUD is set to expire at the end of this month. The applicant is requesting to extend the extension legislation for an additional 15-year period until December 31st, 2035. The city and county planning boards have reviewed this request and both find in favor of the extension.
Thank you. Thank you,
We'll
Deputy.
vote on that tonight.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. So anybody that wishes to speak on that, please raise their hand in Zoom and we will let you in.
Hello?
Hello, is this Michael Toohey?
Yeah, it is, and I can't get my video on.
Well, that probably helps us. No, I'm only kidding, Mike.
I understand.
I just prompted you. I just prompted you, Mike, to turn it on. There you go.
Very good. Thank you, Lisa. Very, very quickly, this is the PUD legislation for Congress Park Center. It was originally passed in 1993. It has existed in the city of Saratoga Springs for 26 and a half years. And in 2005, it was granted a 15-year life. As was said by Mary, the legislation expires on December 31 of this year, and the applicant wishes to have it extended for another 15 years. There is no other change to the legislation. It is still a commercial site, and it has worked successfully for all these years, and I would ask to have the council vote the extension.
Thank you. Any other comments for this PUD extension of Congress Park Center? Please raise your hand. I see we have Commissioner Frank back. We lost you for a minute there.
Yeah, the computer died. I don't know if this one's working better or not.
Okay. Yes, you sound great. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, Lisa, do you see anybody else that may be interested in speaking?
Sorry, no, I don't.
Okay.
No one.
Okay, so we are closing this tonight. We will be voting on this tonight. So at this time, we will get started with our meeting. I'll ask the secretary for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Frank?
Present.
Commissioner Madigan?
Present.
Commissioner Scirocco?
Here.
Commissioner Dalton?
Present.
Mayor Kelly?
Here.
Supervisor Veach?
The supervisors have let me know they're still in their county meeting and will likely be running late.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance at this time. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next on the agenda is our public comment period. I ask that you keep your comments brief, up to 2 minutes. I do have a timer here, and you'll hear a bell. The public comment will be for 15 minutes. Please be respectful to the speakers while they're speaking and address the council as a whole. As a reminder, public comment is not a dialogue or a discussion with the council members. However, at the end of public comment, any council member may respond. Anyone who wishes to address the council upon any issue may now do so. Raise your hand in Zoom and we will call your name and you will state your name and address and provide your comments. So if you wish to comment, please raise your hand and we'll move on from there. Okay, I have a lot of people on my screen.
Okay, so Wendy.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, Wendy, I can. Thank you. Can you state your name and address and provide your comments?
Yeah, Wendy Mahoney. I'm representing Sustainable Saratoga. So good evening. Sustainable Saratoga has reviewed and commented on several earlier drafts of the Natural Resources Inventory, and we're very pleased with the final version. We applaud the members of the Open Space Advisory Committee, Tina Carton, as well as the Natural Resource Inventory consultants for their efforts, which are particularly commendable given that most of these revisions were completed during the COVID pandemic. The NRI contains comprehensive descriptions of the city's remaining natural resources, including forests, lakes, streams, and wetlands, as well as key recommendations to ensure their protection. The assessments contained in this document can be used as a foundation for making long-range planning decisions on important issues like promoting climate resilience, protecting our wetlands and water resources, and reducing fragmentation of the city's greenbelt. As population pressures and the impacts of the climate crisis continue to grow, it's critical that we act now to preserve and protect our natural resources. And we urge the council to support the adoption of this natural resource inventory plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Max.
Go ahead, Max.
Unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please state your name and address and provide your comments.
Max Rosenbaum, resident of Saratoga Springs. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak and for all your hard work. I have two very brief topics. Both are brief. The first is, I believe it is essential to the financial, mental, and well-being of the city that you resolve to work as closely with the state and NYRA as possible to ensure that we open the track this coming season while adhering to all applicable state mandates. And my second topic is that the charter change vote was 6 weeks ago. Saratogians are overwhelmingly voted to reject a change in our form of government. Many families have been disrupted by uncertainty and have been focusing on keeping their children in school, keeping their businesses open, and otherwise trying to stay safe. As I have watched the Unified Development Ordinance evolve, I have been disconcerted by the lack of public engagement and the many critical decisions being made about the future of the city. My understanding is that 1 hour-long workshop was offered and an extension of the public comment period happened in a haphazard fashion. After talking to many Saratogians about the ordinance, it is clear that most have no idea what is happening. The few who do feel they have not had time to process and discuss the potential implications of the ordinance. As a resident of Saratoga who was born here and has lived here on and off in the city, I do not feel this is the appropriate time to be making such critical decisions. And I would ask that we postpone adoption of the UDO until we have moved out of these uncertain times. Instead, I would ask that we focus on doing whatever is necessary to bring back a major source of income for many residents and businesses in the city, the racetrack. Thank you for allowing me to speak. And again, thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
I'm not seeing anybody else.
Okay, we have a lot of people on here. So
yeah,
I don't know why they're
just
here.
Watching.
Yeah. So again, I'd like to ask everybody, if you're just watching this city council meeting, I'm asking you to sign off and to sign on to our website to watch.
Okay. It does look like Darlene would like to speak, Mayor.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead, Darlene.
Unmute.
You have to unmute, Darlene.
Yep, there she goes.
Yeah, hi, sorry. Darlene McRae, I live here in the city of Saratoga Springs. I wanted to bring up the topic that I think there should be a way to speak with Public Works and Public Safety. The snow is going to be coming. We need to make sure that people, when you have snow, it's got to get removed and it's got to be within the city guidelines and the city laws. And we should be able to contact the city in a non-judgmental way. And some of this stuff is getting harder because of COVID, but other stuff, it's been like this for a while. And we got to learn that, we can't make the excuse of COVID. So I would like the city to, do stuff that's non-judgmental, as hard as it might be for you guys. So that's about it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else?
I don't see anybody else.
I see Anna, I see Chris, I see Jesse, I see Jeff, Kevin. Are these people on there for public
Kevin's
comment?
here for the presentation, Mayor.
Okay.
Several people are here for the presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no one else raising their hand unless somebody pipes in with their...
I would like to speak.
Here comes Chris Mathieson.
I would like to speak.
Okay, Chris, you're on. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. On two topics. Chris Matheson, 28 Friar Tuck Way, Saratoga Springs. Two topics. First topic, Saratoga Springs has a school in its midst that has been functioning in our community for many, many decades. It's Saratoga Catholic Central Catholic School, the former St. Peter's Academy. Raises funds every year with a gala, which helps to support the functions of the school. Well, this year there's no gala, and so there is a 50-50 drawing that's being done on January 31st. It's going to help to raise funds for the school. It's $100 per ticket. You can buy 3 tickets for $200, and the maximum payout would be up to $25,000 for your ticket. So we would hope that people in the community would help to support the school. You can call Mary Guarneri at Saratoga Central Catholic at 587-7070 extension 5 to purchase your tickets, or you can go online to their website. The second topic I wanted to mention that I had heard that Commissioner Madigan was going to serve out this term and not run again. I just wanted to say how hard Commissioner Madigan has worked at her position for all these years, and how I feel badly for her having to deal with the severe problems we have this year. I think all Saratogians should be very appreciative of the difficulties that she's facing, and I just want to thank Commissioner Madigan for all her efforts, especially this year and next year. I know these are very difficult times, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other comments from the audience? Lisa, do you see anything?
I do not. Don't see anybody else.
Okay, then we're going to close the public comment period. And does the council have any comments?
I just want to thank Commissioner Matheson. I served with him for 6 years, so it was nice to hear his voice tonight, and I'm glad he chimed in, and I appreciate the compliment. Thank you very much.
Great. Okay, then we will move on to our next item, which is a presentation, and that's New York Power Authority Energy Efficient Program, City Streetlights, and I'll turn it over to Commissioner Madigan.
Thank you, Mayor. So the Public Service Commission approved Section 70A, allowing municipalities to purchase streetlights from their utility, and our utility is National Grid. In 2018, Smart Street Lighting New York was launched by the New York Power Authority, NYPA, with the aim to replace at least half of the more than 1 million streetlights in the state of New York with energy efficient and sustainable alternatives. By converting existing streetlight systems to energy efficient LEDs, municipalities are able to save taxpayers money, provide better lighting to their community, reduce energy use, and subsequently decrease the community's impact on the environment. NYPA provides a full turnkey service to cities who want to upgrade their street lighting to connected LEDs. The service is comprised of all the tasks that are needed to develop, install, and commission LED streetlights in the city of Saratoga Springs, including reviewing and auditing our current street lighting register, designing a conversion solution, procuring and selecting an installation contractor, ordering lighting materials, overseeing project installation, coordinating the proper disposal of the existing fixtures, and providing the city with an updated street lighting registry. They also offer ongoing operations and maintenance contracts after conversion to ensure that the city's streetlight system stays in proper working order for safety and public benefits, addressing aging infrastructure, weather events, traffic accidents, and defects. NYPA also can provide financing for the project, with payments to NYPA made in the years following from the cost savings created by the reduced energy use of the LED streetlights. These can be up to 50 to 65% more efficient than alternative street lighting options. The city also has the option to self-finance the project, and we do have the Director of Finance currently studying this option. NYPA's rates are scheduled to rise on January 1. NYPA is a nonprofit, and at this time they require an increase to their service to meet their expenses. NYPA is offering the city the current rate, which is at a significant discount for those who execute required program documents by year-end 2020. 2020. For the city, this would be equivalent to about a $300,000 per year of the project. The documents include an authorization to proceed, an ATP, and a master contract. To our benefit, NYPA again has agreed to hold this amount for the city if it provides a fully executed authorization to proceed. The authorization to proceed is a non-binding letter of intent. Under its terms, the city is not obligated to complete project implementation. Rather, it authorizes NYPA to proceed with the full turnkey solution of the LED street lighting project, which includes the final design report and conducts bids for materials and installation, labor, provide construction management, and commission the final project. This may involve costs up to $200,000 for which the city would be liable. The next step is for the city of Saratoga Springs to sign and return the authorization to proceed letter. NYPA will then initiate the design phase of the project and will select an implementation contractor that will serve as the engineer of record. In addition to scheduling a kickoff meeting, the city will coordinate either the installation of sample lighting fixtures or a tour to a nearby community that has already installed LED fixtures to confirm acceptance of the recommended materials. At this point, I would like to introduce the people that will be presenting this evening. Tina Carton, the city's Parks, Open Space, Sustainability, and Historic Preservation Administrator, an invaluable grant writer, and the point person who has been spearheading much of this project, and she will be saying a few words this evening. And NYPA, who will be making the presentation on this program, as well as our Glens Falls guest, a program participant who has agreed to share its project experience. So welcome Tina Carton. She's usually here with us. Kevin Luteran, NYPA Program Manager. Jesse Scott, NYPA Manager of Key Accounts. And Jeff Flagg, Sustainability Coordinator for the City of Glens Falls. With that, I believe I am turning it over to Kevin to offer us a presentation on NYPA's street lighting projects.
Great, thank you, Commissioner. Let me share my screen quick. So as Commissioner Madigan mentioned, I'm Kevin Luteran. I'm the Program Manager of Smart Street Lighting New York. We've been working with municipalities across New York to help them convert their streetlights since 2018, about when the launch program happened. The program has a goal to convert 500,000 streetlights to LEDs by 2025. And NYPA has been tasked to lead the effort to help achieve that goal. We realize that there's some complications when developing a project like this. So NYPA has developed a full turnkey service to help communities from end to end to make sure that we can provide ample service to make sure that we provide adequate conversion process savings and things along those lines. We recognize that municipalities typically have street lighting utility budgets that are one of the largest cost items, which provides the most opportunity for them to generate savings as part of this project. So just quickly, some of the high-level benefits of converting your streetlights to LEDs. So first, like I mentioned, the energy cost savings associated with converting your LEDs is significant. When you look at your utility bills, it's comprised of two main pieces. One is your energy usage, which would get lowered by installing energy efficient LEDs. And the second is the facility fees that you pay to the utility for essentially leasing the equipment. Right now, National Grid owns almost all of your street lighting infrastructure, and you pay about 70% of your bill towards those leasing fees. So by purchasing and owning the street lighting system, you'll be saving that huge component of your street lighting bill. In addition to installing LEDs, it really also improves the quality of light output just by the characteristics of the technology. LEDs can disperse light in a more evenly unique pattern so that you get better light distribution, and you also get a better quality of light. So you can see pedestrians, roadways, obstacles better, which will help improve the safety. By installing LED fixtures as well, you're reducing your maintenance costs. These fixtures are rated to last 100,000 hours, which is between about 25 years of their lifespan. And then in addition to that, you're also able to improve the environmental impact by improving dark sky compliance as well. Then as an ancillary benefit to the whole purchasing of the street lighting system is the fact that you'll now own this infrastructure that is spread through your entire community. And that can really be the backbone for smart city technology. Saratoga is already going down the road of deploying smart city technology with, their fiber network. I read recently that they're looking into drone programs for public safety. So all of that can tie in together and use that unique infrastructure as a physical location to install different devices or sensors, as well as, use the street lighting system as a power source. Also, as part of the street lighting project, we are incorporating asset controllers. So every single streetlight will have a device on top of it that allows you to get insight into the performance of your street lighting system. You can raise and lower your light levels, so you can modify that in case you have special events, such as a 4th of July fireworks. You can dim down for the show and then raise your light levels. And it also helps identify when there's lights that are failed and are burnt out. In addition, as part of this program, we can customize your entire design. So we work very closely with the city to create a comprehensive solution that really fits their needs, where we can add and subtract fixtures, we can improve lighting, modify lighting. So it really gives the city an opportunity to successfully design their street lighting system. So as I mentioned, NYPA's been implementing this program for a couple of years now. And at this point, we're helping over 130 municipalities across the state convert their lights. That totals about 186,000 street lights that we're helping to convert to LEDs. And some of the big communities around Saratoga includes the city of Glens Falls, city of Albany, village of Voorheesville, city of Kingston. And as you can see on the map, we are currently working with a lot of communities. We have a lot of experience deploying this and helping them through our full turnkey service. So getting into the full turnkey service, like I mentioned, NYPA really helps from end to end. And really there's two main processes that take place. First is the acquisition of your street lighting infrastructure. So the way it works now is your local utility owns all of the street lighting equipment in your community. So while you need to go through the proceedings, the Section 70 process to acquire those streetlights before you can complete the conversion. That takes about 6 to 10 months to go through that process. But in parallel, while that's going on, we also can help with the design of the street lighting system. And so we'll get that in place. So as soon as you take on ownership of the streetlights, you'll be able to begin construction soon after. We also offer construction management, project financing, and O&M services. So like I mentioned, with the acquisition of the streetlights, this is the one process that will work in parallel, but we'll assist the city through that entire phase of the project. We'll help with the paperwork. We'll make sure that you're getting the proper responses from the utility on time to make sure that things are moving along smoothly. We also help with the design of the streetlight system. So we have design consultants that have experience in providing street lighting design services that we've used for many communities so far. We'll go out into the field and provide sample photometrics analysis, where we will actually measure the light levels of the different roadways in your community to make sure that you're getting ample coverage of the street lights, whatever we're recommending. So in addition to the recommended fixtures, we look at the color temperature to make sure you get the right color that you're looking for. I know in Saratoga case, you're really interested in a warmer yellow glow of a light. So we're able to select fixtures that will fit that need. And we'll also design it based on the beam spread so that you can get proper coverage across the roadway to get that uniform light distribution. We only use DLC approved fixtures. And when we're designing our streetlight projects, we're really focused on dark sky compliance. All of our Cobra head fixtures meet the dark sky compliance, and we work really closely with the city in terms of their decorative lights to try and improve the dark sky compliance with those fixtures as well. We also work with different organizations to help you secure grants and rebates. Right now, National Grid offers a rebate that can help reduce the cost of the total project. During the design phase, we also procure the materials and labor for the full turnkey service to implement the project. We have experience deploying smart city solution technology, where we are able to incorporate different IoT devices in the street lighting system to, really use the street lighting infrastructure more as a strategic asset instead of just illumination of the roadway. And we can help lead some community engagement so that, we develop a comprehensive solution that fits everyone's needs. I mentioned that we offer construction management as part of our service. We will assign a dedicated project manager, which will be your one point of contact throughout the whole process. We make sure that we're achieving the appropriate timelines and logistics for our contractors that are performing the work, and we are staying within budget. We also do quality control to make sure that things are working appropriately as we intended them to do. And as part of the construction management, we also do commissioning. So at the end of the construction period, there's always little tweaks to the system where maybe a light needs to be moved or redirected, or light shielding needs to be installed. And we're able to do those final tweaks as part of that. And then as part of our comprehensive solution, we offer a 1-year labor warranty on all that work as well. Next, as Commissioner Madigan mentioned, is we offer financing. This is really just a tool in our toolbox to help communities move forward with this project. We offer competitive low-cost financing where we structure the payments to essentially be cash flow positive. So instead of paying your utility, what you typically would be paying for your utility accounts, you're able to cover the debt service payments, complete the construction of this project, and with those savings, generate a positive cash flow. So it's really a revenue generating project that we're able to put together. One of the other benefits with our financing is the city would not have to make any payments to NYPA until we finish the project completely. And so, like I mentioned, your savings really pay for all the paybacks of the loans and things. Finally, we launched a new maintenance service where we help with the ongoing operation of the street lighting system. We recognize that this was an ongoing challenge for a lot of communities, since streetlight ownership is really a new concept for them. So we've developed our own maintenance program that is geared around the asset controllers that I mentioned before. So those devices that will be installed on every single streetlight will tie back to our central management center, and we will monitor your street lighting system and be able to identify when lights are failed, and we will manage a contractor to go out, perform the work, and make sure your system remains operational as quickly as possible. We also will provide outage reports so that the city's aware of the different type of failures that they're experiencing, how many are occurring, and things along those lines, so that they can see, how quickly the response time will be. Typically, we're expecting response times to be within 10 business days to complete the repair, assuming that the repairs aren't too extreme. And finally, one of the other benefits as part of our program is smart city solutions. We've helped communities deploy smart city technology in a number of cases. The city of Syracuse is really our flagship program, and also the city of Glens Falls are heavily invested in smart city technology as part of their street lighting project. They're able to leverage the savings from the LED conversion in the ownership of the streetlights to help buy down the cost of this enhanced technology to really improve different areas of public service, such as transportation, installing parking meters, or parking management apps. Connectivity can help improve public Wi-Fi. You can install environmental sensors to measure the outdoor air quality, and you can even use some of the technology for public safety to detect when crowds are forming or things along those lines. We really can customize these different smart city solutions to fit the needs and goals of your community, and can really, help leverage and utilize the street lighting infrastructure for as much as possible. This could also get tied into the fiber deployment, which I know the city's undertaking right now. One of the biggest challenges is getting connected Wi-Fi or communication network established, and by having a fiber network deployed really simplifies the implementation of a smart city project by having that high speed internet access to transmit data back and forth. So that could be an excellent opportunity for the city to look into in the future in terms of deploying smart city solutions. Now getting into some of the financial costs of the streetlights. So I mentioned before that the utility bill is really comprised of two main components. You have your energy, which is the cost per kilowatt hour you pay for your light fixtures, but then you have these leasing fees. So when you look at your national grid bill, you can see that for each one of these items, you'll have a lamp charge, and you pay $8.04 a year for that. You have a luminaire charge, which is $49 a year, a pole charge of $132, and underground cable of $88. So for a light fixture like this in your community, which was taken in Saratoga Springs, you're paying $277 a year just for this one location. Then National Grid depreciates this light fixture over a 7-year cycle. So at the end of the depreciation schedule, essentially the city would be paying for this one streetlight $19,429. I did a similar analysis with this type of what we call a Cobra headlight, which you can find in your community, where the total 70-year depreciation cycle is $45,800. So then looking into your project economics, we took into account, estimates to complete the full conversion from end to end. So your total project cost comes to about $2.8 million. You can factor out $100,000 of incentives that you would expect to receive from National Grid. So your project cost would be more like $2.7 million. And then you can see your total energy savings would be $133,000. So by converting your lights to high efficient LEDs, you'd be saving, that $133,000. Then with your maintenance savings, because you'll no longer be paying those facility fees, you can recoup some of the savings as part of that, but you would now need to maintain those streetlights. So after factoring in the additional cost that the city would have to take on, you're still producing $168,000 in savings. So your annual savings each year is about $300,000. The simple payback for the project is 9.2 years, and we're assuming a 12-year finance term. So over the 25-year life of the streetlight, this is just a cash flow analysis that really shows that the life cycle of this fixture and this project is really a huge benefit to the community. The cumulative savings would amount to $6.2 million. And that takes into account the energy and facility savings. And you can see at the end of year 12, you exponentially increase your cumulative cash flow since you'll no longer be paying those debt service payments. Essentially, the project would be paid off at that point. So it's a huge opportunity to generate revenue for the city to use for other things or reinvest into other technology or projects. And then there's really 2 or 3 options for a community to convert their streetlights. First, they can do it on their own. Some communities choose to do that through third-party contractors or things. But then the most common alternative is actually using a utility conversion model. I did a comparison between your existing baseline using National Grid's conversion model and the New York Power Authority's conversion model. So right now in your existing annual spend, you pay $433,000 on your street lighting account. So that's like your baseline. If you were to use National Grid's conversion, you would then be paying $354,000 a year for your street lighting account. That's an 18% reduction from that $433. But by using NYPA's conversion model, your new cost would be $156,000 a year, which is a 70% reduction in cost. So a 70% savings to what you're experiencing, or $300,000 a year in savings. So that just kind of highlights that the ownership is worthwhile because of the significant savings you can expect to receive, specifically around the maintenance. So you can see you're currently paying $225,000 in those facility fees. in National Grid's conversion model, that would actually increase because they charge more for LEDs in their program, and that would go up to $268,000. But by purchasing and owning your streetlights, using NYPA's maintenance service, that significantly drops down to $57,000. And so that's the quick overview of the street lighting project that we've been working with Tina on for the past 2 years or so. And I guess I'll see if anyone has any questions.
I don't have any questions. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, if anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask them. But I thought maybe we could have Tina go through her few slides and then have Jeff speak and then see if there's any questions. While they're doing that, Kevin, you had a slide when we met with DPW the other day to review this project once again. About the way light travels right now and how you can see, you know, it was like on a street and there was a red car and you can see how sometimes the red car might look a little brown. Do you remember that slide?
Yeah.
I'm thinking if while Tina's showing her slides, maybe you could show, because there's a real public safety impact to having better lighting in the streets too. And the way light travels now, like into people's bedrooms and homes. I thought that was a good slide to look at, but we could maybe share Tina's screen and go through her few slides and then come back to that and then see if anybody has any questions. Oh, you already have it up.
Yep.
Can you
ahead. See it okay?
Yeah.
Is it
I thought this was a great,
Yeah, so, whoops, sorry, bear with me for 1 second. So like the commissioner was mentioning, the LED streetlights inherently have better characteristics of the streetlights. And I'm sorry, the animation's getting messed up on this a little bit. But really, there's 3 big components to LED streetlights that really improve the quality of light. First is a reduction in light trespass. So you can see here along the sidewalk that really all the light pretty much stops along this area and you're not trespassing into people's front yards. That's pretty important to make sure that the light's being thrown exactly where it needs to be, which is on the sidewalks and on the road. The next area of improvement is looking onto the roadway, is a uniform light distribution. So the way that your HID lights or your current lighting infrastructure works is it just throws light out in a very consistent pattern. It's not directional or anything. And depending on the spacing, you'll actually have like a really bright spot directly under the light. And then once you get to the edge, it will be dark until you get to the next street light where you will continue to get that bright spot. And it's kind of disruptive for drivers. But when you see the picture here along the roadway, it's a very uniform light distribution. You don't have those dark spots. And that's because LEDs are directional and can disperse their light in a better pattern to help get that coverage. And then finally, it has a better color rendering index, which means the human eye can perceive color better with an LED. So looking at this red car, it's easier for you to see that it's red. And you may have noticed when you drive on the roadways now, sometimes like the greens and reds kind of look brown or grayish. That's because with HID lights, the color rendering index is not that great. And so by switching to LEDs, you're improving that, which helps improve public safety and the visibility that drivers can see different obstacles or things along the roadway.
Thank you. Now we'll share Tina's screen. I thought that was an important slide. I thought that was a good slide.
Yeah.
Hi. So I just wanted to share a few examples of some of the other communities that Kevin had spoken about, as well as after a few of these slides are done, I would like to introduce you to Jeff Flagg from Glens Falls, because they're right in the project right now, and he can kind of brief you on that. The city of Rochester replaced 9,600 streetlights, and they integrated directly the lighting platform that Kevin was talking about, and it allows the city to monitor and control and manage these streetlights. And the lighting program coordinator in Rochester, we have a quote from him here. He's saying a lot of times we actually find the problems before our residents, and that's always a plus, and the system's working great. So instead of relying on someone to call in to National Grid, some type of outage of a streetlight, it goes directly either through, if we connect it to a fiber line, or if not, it goes through a Wi-Fi signal. and it'll go right into a central management system. The city of Albany is currently converting their streetlights. They have about 70% of them done, and they've already realized $2 million in savings per year for the 70% that they've completed. The projected annual savings of their complete project is nearly $3.3 million. And Mayor Sheehan has been really excited about the project, and they're really pleased with the way that it's turning out. The city of White Plains has they own all of their streetlights. So instead of how we would be purchasing our Cobra lights from National Grid, White Plains actually owned their streetlights prior to this project taking place. But they had the old energy inefficient lighting. So Mayor Roach has been really happy with the project as well. And when he was, in his quote here is that once the NYPA financing is paid off, you're really raking it in. This is a great way to provide better constituent service and save money. And I think, during COVID, there's so many opportunities that these types of streetlights can offer. And I'll get that in another slide in a minute. So really, the streetlight project is also preparing for the future. So smart connected infrastructure using real-time communication could deliver significant benefits to both city government and to city residents, as well as our tourists. Smart city technology, right here, you can kind of see it's attached to this pole on this light, but it can host Wi-Fi transmitters that offer public broadband that access the city, closing the digital divide. And during COVID, we've really experienced a lot of people at home, both working, children at home, going to school. And if you don't have access to Wi-Fi right now, you're really cut off from fellow people. And it's been really difficult for people not being able, who don't have access to Wi-Fi. The smart poles can also reduce visual impacts of small cell phone deployments. In a lot of communities, you'll see towers. I don't know if you're familiar with microcell towers, but they're able to attach them onto the Cobra lights, and they look very awkward. And the smart city technology makes it a little bit smaller and more easily hidden, more appealing, especially in our downtown core, which with the federal regulations on small cell towers, it's very hard. We can only have shielding regulations. It's hard to actually stop their deployment. Another benefit are air quality sensors. In Saratoga County, we only have one air quality sensor. It's out in Stillwater, which is not in an urban environment. It's also not on a transportation environment. It would be a real opportunity not to install them everywhere, but maybe, a couple areas hitting a few neighborhoods around the city or in our downtown core. If there's an unhealthy air quality day, we can notify residents of that. Other applications are smart parking. So some people have been using this to show where available parking spots are. Verizon was working with NYPA on a solution to this. And that can also help tourism and help residents who want to come downtown to go to dinner or go shopping find available parking spaces. And that's the end of my presentation. And I would like to just introduce Jeff Flagg. Jeff Flagg is the sustainability coordinator for the city of Glens Falls. He doesn't have any slides, but he's just going to talk really quickly about Glens Falls' project. Jeff, I think you need to unmute.
Okay. I actually did have a slide or two, but it doesn't matter. I don't need to look at them.
Jeff, if you have a slide, we can share it. That would be fine.
Okay. Well, just so you have something to look at. I'm only going to talk for a couple minutes, so I'll. If you can see what
I don't know. Yes, there we go. We can see it. Yep.
Okay. Let me just go there. Well, as Tina and both Commissioner Madigan mentioned, my name is Jeff Flagg, and I'm the sustainability coordinator for the city of Glens Falls. Hang on 1 second. Let me just show you that. So I'm showing you my whole screen. Are you guys seeing my whole screen there? Something approaching it. So I was asked when I was speaking with Tina not too long ago, she asked me to speak just for a few minutes about our experience in Glens Falls, mainly because we're using NYPA, as you've seen and heard, but also because we're about 18 months probably in front of where you are now, and so it might be worthwhile. We're at the point now where we're just on the verge of converting our 1,900 or so streetlights. We're getting actually, I just heard from, we're getting shipments next week, so I'm hoping they don't come on Friday of next week, but we're trying to get started so we can get some installations before the first, or by the first of the year. From our perspective, once you get to the point where you say we're going to do the conversion, and I'm not going to go there obviously, but the calculus was sort of simple. As you may know, and Kevin even alluded to, there's a number of ways that communities can affect this conversion. You can buy and convert these on your own. You can allow the utility to do the conversion for you, or you can have a third party writ large to take care of it for you. As far as trying to do this yourself, I would say this is not something I would wish on my worst enemy to try and do on your own. It's a daunting task, and unless you have a huge number of city staff that are laying around with nothing to do, I would say I wouldn't suggest this for anyone, unless New York City might be able to do it on their own. But anyone else, I would strongly say you need to have somebody else involved. The problem with utility conversion, and again, Kevin alluded to this briefly, is that you've got, the pitch that we got from National Grid, and this, of course, is about 2 years ago, was that, they would convert up to 20% of the lights per year. So when you consider what a cash cow street lighting is for the city, for the utility, my guess would be when they say up to 20%, that means it could be something less than that. And if it's something less than that, let's suppose they would have no incentive to do it any quicker because of the situation they're in. The other problem with the utilities, you don't have much control over what you're going to get. They have a lot more authority to determine what color lighting, the brightness of lighting, and again, as I said, how quickly you're going to do it. The bigger issue, of course, with the utilities is that the lion's share of your savings is going to come from the purchasing of the lights. And although it's a pretty heavy lift early on, right, until you paid for them, once you paid for them, if and when, at the end of 25 years, presuming you're not going to sort of change them all out at once, but if you did have a pretty large exchange 25 years from now, the biggest part of that, the purchase of the lights, has already been taken care of. So you'd have pretty substantial savings there. So really, what that leaves you with then is this sort of idea of a third party, a vendor. And again, in many ways, that's what you're sort of looking at with NYPA, right? Except that they're taking care of all these different steps. So, they're using private engineering firms, they're using private lighting firms, they're using private maintenance firms, they're using private smart city asset firms. All these are firms, but they're going through a lot of the process. Glens Falls, and I obviously can't speak to Saratoga Springs, but Glens Falls just doesn't have the staffing bandwidth to try and do all the RFPs that are necessary, all the administration that's necessary. And the bigger issue with this is that, when you do it on your own, or you have someone do it for you, you have a lot more control. And that's I think that's probably the real issue that we moved away from having National Grid do anything for us. So if you get to that point and you say, well, yes, we want to convert them, yes, we want to have some third party, then the real question is, what value does NYPA provide for you? And I guess, when we finally looked at the overall calculus, what it really boiled down to, I should say, was three things that I could sort of summarize. One is a level of competence, right? Again, as Kevin alluded to, they've done a lot of these conversions. They're working on, over 120, I think, right now. They've done several already. I followed up with several communities that had done conversions either with NYPA or in some cases had done it with the firms that NYPA was employing to use these. So that made it quite a bit easier for us to sort of work with knowing that the firms we were using. They've also done RFPs for all the companies that we have the ability to use. There's a little suite of engineering firms. For example, we're using a company out of Western New York called Wendell Engineering. There's 2 or 3 others. I'm sure they're all competent firms, and they've done that. So you don't have to submit all the different RFPs you need for all these different things. You're just sort of picking and choosing from the firms that presented and that we were sort of comfortable with using. So, and the other dilemma with these things is we're trying to do these on your own, for instance, is that it's just, it's a one-off project. So it's really, it's not as if you're going to be sort of getting all the benefits of all this sort of collective experience from the city, because it's a project that doesn't really have any replication. You're working with the PSC, you're working with the utility company, you're working with all these different vendors. It's daunting enough as it is. And as a single point of contact, I would have to say it's not only valuable, it has been invaluable, at least thus far. As I mentioned, that there's a level of confidence, I think, that the city of Glens Falls, that the city council had. Once we were fairly comfortable that this is going to be done on a cash flow positive basis, and that's the way it was presented from the very beginning, and that's the way it still is right now. And I have to say, to their credit, they estimate these things pretty conservatively. And so whenever we've had sort of these surprises that sort of pop up, we find lights that we didn't have, we want to make changes here. It's almost always been to our benefit when we sort of look back at them, because, they either estimated the financing very conservatively, they put the fat in the budget, they put very conservatively for contingencies and things like that. So the surprise has pretty much been to the upside consistently. And then, to be totally honest with you, the last thing I have there is that, they provide, at least for the city fathers in Glens Falls and mothers, they provide an element of cover. And I say that because, without being too crass, it's a government entity, or a quasi-government entity anyway. And so, there's a level of comfort that you get, I think, as a municipal official when you're looking at this sort of quasi-government entity that's done all these things, so that if something happens to go sideways, you can sort of look at, and say, well, we use the largest, most respectable firm in the country, or in the state anyway, who's doing this conversion for us. So, I don't want to use political cover as a reason to do anything, but I think it does sort of, provide the municipal officials here in Glens Falls anyway with a level of comfort. And of course, you're also dealing with a lot of these big firms that they have everything to gain and everything to lose if they do something, if things don't work out, as they want to get these additional contracts and additional installations and additional designs. Obviously it makes sense for them to do that. And the last thing I would just say, as you're going through the process, and this is really without respect to who or how you do it, or who with, is to look really long and hard at the smart city component of this project. LED lighting conversion is sort of the enabling technology behind the smart city, right? Because what it does is it allows you to sort of lay down a network over the entire city, which is being enabled because you have lights everywhere in your city. What that does is that allows you to put down a lot of different kinds of technologies. The one thing you have to look closely at, and I mentioned it with respect to Saratoga Springs specifically, is because I know that you, like we, have a lot of decorative lights. And one of the things that we discovered is that in many cases, it's a little harder to do some of these technologies if you have decorative lights. Many of the companies that are doing these things are lighting companies that are sort of moving into the smart city universe. And so they're trying to sort of adapt these technologies to their lights. Well, there's some difficulties with that depending on the vendors you're using and the platforms and applications you're using. I'm not going to go into that right now. I'd be happy to revisit with you folks. 6 months from now, I could probably tell you how it went rather than how it's going, at least as far as installation. And I'd be happy to share that, as we go along with anybody, either collectively or individually for that matter.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Yeah. So I agree. I think the LED lighting conversion to me is definitely like the low hanging fruit, the big money, kind of a big money saver. But once you have all this connectivity, I'm glad you made that connection to some of the smart city technologies type things that the city can start to plan for the future. Is one of the critical key components of this as well. And I'm glad you touched on that. I know we have spent some time on this presentation, so I don't know if there are any questions. I'm sure Nipa and Jeff and even Tina are happy to take them, or, you can funnel them through to me and I can make sure Nipa has them, because I will be setting a public hearing tonight to amend the capital budget for our meeting at the end of December.
I'm all set, Commissioner. Of course, I could always contact Tina. Thank you.
Yes, that's true. Yep.
Anybody else have any comments from the council? Okay, I think we're all set. I thank you all for coming, and I appreciate that very in-depth look at street lighting. So I learned a lot, actually, so that's very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
it's pretty good.
So I appreciate it. Thank you.
You guys have a good night.
Yep, you too.
Thank you. I'll be in touch. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Tina, very much.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move right on to our agenda here. We have our consent agenda. I move that the City Council approve the consent agenda as included with this agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. I'm not hearing the ayes, so if you could just speak up. I'm going to move on to the mayor's department. I have quite a large agenda. I'll try to go through as quickly and efficiently as I can. My first item is discussion and vote reappointment of City Center Authority board members for established terms. I am reappointing these board members to correct term and end dates. Dorothy Roger Bullis is effective 12/15/20, expiring 2/12/23. Sean Wiggins, effective 12/15/20, expiring 2/12/23. Tom Ruin, effective 12/15/20, expiring 12/31/23. Steve Sullivan, effective 12/15/20, expiring 12/31/23. We have an opening that's effective 12/15/20, expiring 2/25/24. Roger Goldsmith, effective 12/15/20, expiring 3/19/25. Richard Higgins, effective 12/15/20, expiring 6/20/25. I move that the City Council approve the reappointment of the City Center Authority members for the terms as read into the record. This is a motion. Is there a second? Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
If I can, all of those terms for the reappointments are to expire on March 20th of the year that you designated, but they all have the same expiration date with regard to the month and the day.
Repeat that, please.
So you indicated the terms, and they all had varying expiration dates. The expiration dates should all be on March 20th, albeit on a different year.
Okay, that's fine. So you want me to read those again?
I would, for clarification.
3/20/23, then it would be. So Dorothy Roger Bullis, effective 12/15/20, expiring 3/20/23. Is that correct, Vince?
For Rogers Bullis, it would be 3/20/24. You want me to read the terms?
Yes, if you could, please. Thank you.
Sure. For Goldsmith, it's a 6-year term that is already in progress, so that will have an expiration date of March 20th, 2025. For Higgins, that has an expiration date of March 20th, 2025. For Wiggins, an expiration date of March 20th, 2025. For Rogers Bullis, an expiration date of March 20th, 2024. For Ratcliffe, an expiration date of March 20th, 2024.
Vince, can I stop you there? Radcliffe resigned today, so that's an empty spot.
Okay. Sullivan has an expiration date of March 20th, 2023. And Ruin has an expiration date of March 20th, 2023.
Okay, thank you. There was a lot of confusion trying to figure these out, so I appreciate that clarification. So I move that the City Council approve the reappointments of City Center Authority board members for the terms as read into the record. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My second item is discussion and vote appointment to the Civil Service Commission. I'm going to appoint Jenny Dunn effective 12/15/20, expiring 5/19/26. Jenny is completing the term left vacant by Deirdre Ladd when she was appointed Deputy Commissioner of Finance in July. Jenny has degrees in sociology, human relations, and culinary sciences. She is a beekeeper, bee educator, and has worked as a consultant in program management, communications, and development. She volunteers on a number of organizations. I move that the City Council approves Jenny Dunn to Civil Service Commission. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My third item is an appointment to the Design Review Commission. Tonight I will be appointing Sean Smith effective 12/15/20, expiring 6/30/23. Sean is completing the term vacated in June by Karen Cavada. Sean is a director of success at DataRoba, a leading artificial intelligence company. Sean has held multiple positions in advanced analytics with some of today's largest technology companies, including Dell, EMC, and Oracle. He is a contributing author Towards All, one of the top 2 artificial intelligence publications on the medium. Sean graduated from the University of New England with an environmental science degree and has completed postgraduate studies both at SUNY Albany and Harvard University. My next item is another appointment to the Zoning Board of Appeals. I will be appointing Rosemary Radcliffe effective 1/1/21, expiring 12/31/27. Rosemary Radcliffe has been a resident of Saratoga Springs since 2011. She has served on the board of Saratoga Springs City Center since 2018 and has served on other local boards and organizations. Rosemary is employed as senior consultant for Kaiser Foundation Health Plan, Inc., a nonprofit healthcare company based in Oakland, California. My next item is an appointment, 2 reappointments to the Rec Commission. John Dowd will be reappointed effective 12/15/20, expiring 12/4/27. My second reappointment to the Recreation Commission is Bob Mansier, will be effective 1/8/21, expiring 1/7/28. My next announcement is to take this moment along with the council to thank the many volunteers on our city boards and committees who volunteer and take Saratoga Springs City into their house, into their life, into their work, and they make it the best city ever. So I want to just say a big thank you and shout out to all the volunteers on all of our boards right across the whole city. So I don't know if anybody else wanted to add anything there.
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing that because I thought about putting something on my agenda, and I think it's best coming from the mayor on behalf of all of us to all our city volunteers. And I appreciate all the work that the volunteers I've appointed have been doing over the years. And I think this was a nice ad. So thank you, Mayor.
Sure. Thank you.
I agree. It's a lot of time, more time I think than people think to be on some of these boards, but they do it with such passion and dedication, and the city really relies on that. So we appreciate it.
Great. My next item is announcement, small business grant. This is a reminder announcement. Applications for COVID-19 small business grant program will be accepted through January 4th. A total of 25 to 51 grants between $5,000 and $10,000 are anticipated to be awarded. Grant awards are scheduled to be announced in February 2021. Application forms and program and eligibility guidelines can be found on the city website. My next item is discussion and vote approve the updated return to rec operational plan. The Recreation Department operational plan was developed according to New York State Sports and Recreation statewide guidelines. It outlines the procedures followed by the city recreation programs, activities, and facilities during the pandemic. The primary change in this update is what we are now requiring skaters to wear a mask. Prior to this change, skaters were not required to wear the mask while skating. After this is approved, all participants at the rec center and the ice rink will be required to wear a mask at all times, including while participating in the sport. I move that the City Council approve the updated return to rec operational plan as included with this agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just want to thank the rec department and the mayor for putting that mask policy in place. I know public safety really appreciates it.
Great, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. Commissioner Sirocco, I'm not hearing you. I don't know if there's something wrong with your volume. So
I don't think I'm muted. Can you hear it? Can you hear me?
Oh no, I could hear you now. I haven't heard you respond. I have to look for you. So my ninth item is discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign New York State DOH renewal. This is the annual agreement for the Recreation Department with the Department of Health. I move that the City Council authorize the mayor to sign New York State DOH renewal as included with the agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My 10th item is discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign youth service project agreement with the County of Saratoga. The Saratoga Springs Recreation Department is requesting authorization for the mayor to sign the youth service project agreement with the County of Saratoga. This is an annual agreement. The county will sponsor the city's youth service project and pay the city a sum not to exceed $6,927 for the Office of Children and Family Services funds requested. I move that the City Council authorize the mayor to sign youth services project agreement with the County of Saratoga as included with this agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My 11th item is discussion and vote approval of Recreation Department 2021 fees. I move that the City Council approve the Recreation Department 2021 fee schedule as included with this agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My 12th item is discussion and vote approval of Building Department 2021 fee schedule. Attached to the agenda are the red line and clean versions of the fee schedule. Generally, in 2021, the building department fees were increased. In some cases, the fee structure was revised to a more accurately account for the review time and inspection time associated with the permit. I move that the City Council approve the building department 2021 fee schedule as included with this agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. Next item is discussion and vote approval of Planning Department 2021 fees. Attached to the agenda are the red line and clean version of the fee schedule. 2021 Planning Department fees, which are primarily for land use board approvals, were increased. In some cases, fee structures was revised and more accurately account for staff review, processing, and time associated with approvals. Where applicable, the applications now require a fee for preparation and cost for legal noticing. This will minimize delays due to improper noticing timeframes. I move that the City Council approve the Planning Department 2021 fee schedule as included with the agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My next item is discussion and vote approval to pay invoice to Advantage Press. This is an unpaid invoice more than 30 days. I move that the City Council approve the payment of the invoice to Advantage Press as included with this agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My next item is discussion and vote approval to pay invoices to Toshiba for printer maintenance. These invoices were unpaid for more than 30 days. I move that the City Council approve the payment of invoices to Toshiba for printer maintenance as included with this agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My next item is discussion and vote, adopt the CDTC ADA Transition Plan Appendix. The City of Saratoga Springs received a grant through the CDTC to further our ADA transitional plan. The first step of updating and furthering the plan is the collection of field data regarding sidewalks and crosswalks. The CDTC created the attached appendices to the city's ADA transitional plan. The purpose of the appendices is to streamline and create consistency between staff when doing field data collection. The appendices have been approved by the Safety Committee and have been distributed to the City Council members on November 24th for review. The Mayor's Office is asking the City Council to adopt this document as an appendix to the ADA Transitional Plan. I move that the City Council adopt the CDTC ADA Transitional Plan Appendix as included with this agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes. Next item is discussion and vote, adopt the Natural Resource Inventory Plan. The NRI supports the city in achieving the goals laid out in the 2015 Comprehensive Plan to retain Saratoga Springs as a city in the country with a vibrant central business district and outlying areas of rural character. The data and associated maps will serve as a cornerstone to update the 2002 Open Space Plan, Climate Resiliency Plan, and create the criteria for new acquisitions as it identifies areas of high value for wildlife habitat, water quality preservation, recreation, scenic beauty, and other resources. The inventory was developed over 2 years ago with a team effort led by Tina Carton, who was joined by the Open Space Advisory Committee and Labella Associates and the city's professional consultant. Key contributors include local scientists and research management experts of the members of the Open Space Advisory Committee, the Climate Smart Task Force, faculty from Skidmore College, graduate students from the University of Albany, and public input at various stages of the process. I'd like to thank all these people who offered their assistance and created this document. I move that the City Council adopt the Natural Resource Inventory Plan as included with the agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
It was a big project. I just want to say congratulations to everyone involved.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes. My 18th item is discussion and vote approval for the mayor to sign agreement between the city and Employees Assistance, Inc., New York Total Care and Public Safety. This is an annual agreement for employee assistance programs the city offers to its employees. I move that the City Council approve the mayor to sign an agreement between the city and Employee Assistance, Inc., New York Total Care and Public Safety as included with this agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My 19th item is discussion and vote, revision of the 1929 tax deed 166 Jefferson Street. This revision corrects the deed language that references 1,000 years instead of in perpetuity. I move that the City Council approve revision of 1929 tax deed 166 Jefferson as included with the agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My 20th item is discussion and vote authorization of $10,000 donation to Rebuilding Together Saratoga County. The city currently administers programs and standards to further and promote establishment of workforce housing units in Saratoga Springs. Recently, a housing unit located at 289 Jefferson Street was released from the workforce housing restrictions. In accordance with the applicable deed restriction, the city received a payment of of its established financial interest percentage said to be $10,000. The city finds that it is in the best public interest to use the funds in a manner that will further the goals of affordable housing. Upon approval, the City Council has determined to transfer the funds to Rebuilding Together to be used to assist low-income homeowners. It is a best public interest and is consistent with the purpose and goals of the city's affordable housing programs and standards. I move that the City Council approve $10,000 donation to Rebuilding Together Saratoga County. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes. Next item is discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign memorandum of understanding with Rebuilding Together Saratoga County. The MOU outlines this donation and is attached to this agenda. I move that the City Council approve the mayor to sign the memorandum of understanding with Rebuilding Together Saratoga County. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes. My 22nd item is discussion and vote donation of sick time. The MOU is for this donation was sent around to council today. Sick leave in the amount of 25 days from a CSEA employee ID number 258 are being donated to CSEA employee ID number 1969 if approved. The parties agree that the unused donation shall be forfeited after 12/31/21. I move that the City Council approve the donation of sick time per the MOU distributed to the council today. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My 23rd item is an announcement about a retirement. Before our first meeting in 2021, we will be saying goodbye to Bradley Burge. He is retiring after 25 years with the city of Saratoga Springs. As the administrator of the Office of Planning and Economic Development, Brad oversees the Community Development Program and the Land Use Board's review process, including assisting the City Planning Board and Zoning Board of Appeals. He is the staff support to the Design Review Commission. Brad has been the administrator of OPED for 13 years, and he was a director of community development prior to that. Brad holds a master's degree from Hamilton College and a master's degree in urban and regional planning from the University of Albany. Prior to joining the city of Saratoga Springs, he attended the University of Andes in Bogota, Colombia, where worked with a not-for-profit community development organization in Honduras and was a senior planner for Capital District Regional Planning Commission. Notable projects that Brad's leadership has been demonstrated include adoption of the residential design guidelines, the comprehensive plans of 2001 and 2015, the development of the waterfront park, the development of Geyser Road Trail, his work on Beacon Street and West Side revitalization using CDBG funds and New York State Main Street grant in conjunction with the Arts District designation is definitely a community development highlight of his tenure here. And I also want to say that, he will really be missed in my department. He's somebody that we always go to and to find out where we need to go, what we need to do. But I personally want to say, when I came into City Hall as a deputy, he was my guy that I went to. He was the person that helped me work through the web of City Hall when you're coming in new and you didn't know anybody. And he sat me down. He showed me our phone directory, and that's what we all live by because that tells us who is in each department. And he just said, this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to start out, and really worked me through the process. So I owe a lot of my success in City Hall to Bradley Burge. So I just want to say thank you publicly to him because it has been a great run with him. So thank you.
Mayor, can I just say a few words? I've been here almost, 9 years now, and he's also guided this council and many other people on city councils through Well, the big one was the comprehensive plan of 2015. And, you know, his input was invaluable. You know, he's been a great asset to the city. So, you know, while I'm happy to see that he is retiring, it's a big loss to the city. And I wish him luck. And those were some nice words that you had for him, Mayor.
Thank you. And I thank Bradley. I would like to add an item. I just don't have enough on my agenda, so I want to add one item if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
I move that the city council approve an addition of an appointment to the planning board. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. My 24th item, I'd like to appoint Jason Doty, effective 1/1/21, expiring 12/31/22, to the planning board. Jason has been an alternate and is going to step into Jamin Totino's place when he resigns at the end of the year. We are grateful for Jamin's dedicated work to the planning board as vice chair. We welcome Jason as a full member. And at this time, that concludes my agenda, and I'll turn it over to Commissioner Frank.
Thank you, Mayor. I will attend. I don't know if the audio goes out. Please tell me, and then I'll switch over to Commissioner Madigan.
You're going in and out.
You're going out.
All right. If I apologize, it's short and sweet and doesn't seem to work. If Commissioner Madigan could do the agenda, I'll just thumbs up or down.
Sure.
I will. I just need to pull up your notes. No problem. All right. So I'm going to read through the accounts department agenda. And the first item on their agenda is a discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign contract with Fitzgerald Morris Baker and Firth for legal services relating to Article 7 litigation. This is an annual renewal for Fitzgerald Morris Baker and Firth for legal services relating to Article 7 litigation. I move to authorize the mayor to sign the contract with Fitzgerald Morris Baker Firth for legal services relating to Article 7 litigation as included with this agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Sorry, I know I'm saying I move and this is a motion, but the secretary's always asked me to end because I talk so quickly with this is a motion. So she's got me well trained. The second item is a discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign contract with Town Law Firm PC for legal services relating to Article 7 litigation. Again, an annual renewal with Town Law Firm for legal services relating to Article 7 litigation. I move to authorize the mayor to sign the contract with the Town Law Firm PC for legal services relating to Article 7 litigation as included with this agenda. That was the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Item number 3 is a discussion and vote. City Council approval to extend legislation of Congress Park Center PUD until December 31st, 2035. Tonight we had a public hearing on this item. The legislation for the Congress Park Center PUD is set to expire at the end of this month. The applicant is requesting to extend the existing legislation for an additional 15-year period until December 31, 2035. The city and county planning boards have reviewed this request and both find in favor of the extension. I move for the City Council to approve the extension of the existing legislation for Congress Park Center PUD for an additional 15-year period to expire on December 31st, 2035. That was the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Item number 4 is an appointment, Commissioner of Deeds for various departments. All current Commissioner of Deeds are set to expire 12/31/2020. The complete list of names who are being appointed are included and uploaded with the agenda. Commissioner Frank is reappointing employees of the Department of Public Safety, Administration, and Police Department, the Accounts Department, Civil Service, and Human Resources as Commissioner of Deeds. Item number 5 is an award of bid, extension of bid, Weibel Avenue Landfill Gas Collection and Control System Operations, Monitoring, and Maintenance Services to SCS Engineers. Upon the recommendation of the Department of Public Works, I move to extend the bid for the Weibel Avenue Landfill Gas Collection and Control System Operations, Monitoring, and Maintenance Services to SCS Engineers under the same terms, conditions, and prices for an additional year. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? The matter passes.
Item number 6, award of bid, professional services for water distribution pipe replacements, Phase 1 to Creighton Manning Engineering LLP. Upon the recommendation of the Department of Public Works, I move to award the bid of professional services for water distribution pipe replacements, Phase 1 to Creighton Manning Engineering LLP for an amount not to exceed $200,955. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes. And
that completes the accounts. Yeah.
Okay,
accounts
thank
agenda.
you. Thank you, both commissioners, and on to finance.
Thank you, Mayor. 1 second. Okay. So the first item on my agenda is an announcement, tax anticipation note, or TAN. I want to inform the public and the council that on December 10th, 2020, the city closed on its second short-term loan to cover cash flow issues caused by insufficient revenue collection due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The loan is a tax anticipation note, a TAN, in the amount of $5 million. This brings our total 2020 short-term loans utilized for cash flow to $11.3 million. $6.3 million was borrowed in June and $5 million in December. Both will be due and payable with interest in 2021. They can be renewed up to 4 times as outlined in the Finance Policy and Procedure Manual. But with each renewal, the interest can change. And even with renewal, a plan is needed for repayment. These are short-term loans. This loan, like our June loan, was provided by Adirondack Trust Company. It is an interest rate of 0.3% and will come due and payable with interest on December 10th, 2021. Special thanks, big thanks to Adirondack Trust Company for partnering with the city to support the city and its efforts to sustain jobs through 2021 and services through the pandemic economy. Really want to give them a big thank you. Item number 2, discussion and vote, 2021 tax rate approvals. Each year after next year's budget is passed, the council is asked to approve the tax rates that the budget has generated. The 2021 budget includes property tax revenue that requires a 6% tax rate increase. The tax rate per $1,000 of home assessment values are $6.4331 for taxpayers living in the inside district and $6.3714 for taxpayers living in the outside district. This is one of the first tax rates, really, that I have had in my 9 years of my tenure as Commissioner of Finance, and it is because of the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on city revenues and on our fund balance, our savings, and our desire not to have layoffs in 2021. It results in an additional monthly payment on a home assessed at $200,000 of $6 a month and a home assessed at $400,000 of $12 a month, a home assessed at $650,000 of $20 a month. I move that the City Council approve the 2021 tax rate approvals as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The matter passes.
I didn't mean to try to second my own motion. Sorry. I got a little confused there for a minute. All right. Item number 3, discussion and vote. Authorization for the mayor to sign a development agreement, amendment number 1 with Sci-Fi Networks for the fiber optics project. So I'm just going to give a little purpose and history of the Sci-Fi contract to go into the motion for the first contract. And then I have another item on my agenda for the Smart Cities piece. So the last Sci-Fi update I presented to the council and the public was on September 15th, 2020. Sci-Fi Networks will be building a privately funded fiber network throughout every city street in Saratoga Springs. Given how the need for high quality connectivity has become a necessity at home and for businesses and education purposes, and we have seen that as it relates to the COVID-19 pandemic for homework and education, improving the city's technological infrastructure has been a priority of mine for some time. I want to say I began this project back in 2015 with the city's Smart City Commission. To this end, in August of 2018, the City Council unanimously approved a development agreement with Sci-Fi Networks through which the company will design, install, and maintain a citywide fiber optic network that will reach every home and business in Saratoga Springs at no cost to the city. The development agreement ultimately provides residents with an opportunity to receive multi-gigabit technology and internet, voice, data, video services as an option or alternative to the services which are currently available to them. While wireless technology continues to advance, fiber has the ability to transmit data at the speed of light. Barring a change in the law of physics, fiber will be our most effective, stable way to send information for the foreseeable future into the next century and beyond. This stability is especially important for businesses and is one of the reasons this project has the potential to have material economic development impact for our city. Fiber to fiber ground connectivity between our city recreation center and city hall is the reason essential city services were up and running within 4 days following the lightning strike on City Hall in August of 2018. As for wireless technologies, 5G is starting to be rolled out in some municipalities, but it does take years for these technologies to become commonplace, will include many of the same wireless limitations we all deal with today, and will require upgrades in equipment and data plans at no small cost to consumers. Fiber will make it easier to connect our streetlights and do more with connected streetlights, generally speaking, and allow the city to do more with smart technologies in our outdoor public spaces. To date, Sci-Fi Networks is working with approximately 20 cities in the United States with active plans to work with many other cities in the near future. The city and Sci-Fi have aligned interests to build a cutting-edge fiber network that reaches every Saratogian, that provides fast and reliable connectivity at an affordable price, and to work with high-quality internet providers that can meet individual needs of city residents. The project is in design mode with our city engineering department. Thank you to the Department of Public Works. I already thanked them. I also want to thank the City Attorney's Office and Risk and Safety, Vince DeLeonardis, Marilyn Rivers. They have been on so many meetings with Sci-Fi, working out all the contract details, and Kevin Kling, the head of IT. The goal at this point is to begin construction on the network in the spring of 2021. Amendment number 1, which was uploaded with the agenda, allows Sci-Fi an additional 12 months in which to commence construction on the system and is in response to delays associated with the current pandemic. In addition, the amendment provides clarifying language for use of roadways and city-owned property, possible relocation of the system, and street opening permit process. I move that the City Council authorize the mayor to sign the development agreement, amendment number 1, with Sci-Fi Networks for the fiber optics project as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
If anyone does have any questions, the city attorney is here and is the best person to help answer them.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you. Item number 4 is a discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign the Smart City Service Agreement with Sci-Fi Networks for the fiber optics project. The Smart City Managed Services Agreement enables the city to receive services to identified city locations over Sci-Fi's fiber optics infrastructure once the same is completed. The agreement identifies 20 initial locations for the service, including City Hall, fire stations, DPW garage, the visitor center, and recreation facilities, to name a few. The city will pay a monthly fee as set forth in Exhibit A of the agreement, commencing on the first of the month following the month when each drop location is put into active service for 12 months after the drop location receives a fiber connection. In addition to the initial 21 locations identified in Exhibit A, the city has the ability to identify additional locations up to a maximum of 300 such locations. The term of the Smart City Managed Services Agreement shall be for a period of 10 years from the commencement date. The commencement date is the date of the first drop connection, and it must occur within 24 months from now. If, however, Sci-Fi is unable to achieve the first drop connection by that date, the city may terminate the agreement. Vince, are you on? Do you have anything you want to add to that? Because that's really the big piece that we're doing here is the smart city piece.
That's the big piece, and I think you summarized it well, but if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay. Then with that, I'll make the motion. I move that the City Council authorize the mayor to sign the Smart City Service Agreement with the Sci-Fi Networks for the fiber optics project as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you. Item number 5 is a discussion and vote. Authorization for the mayor to sign Addendum 3 to Nice Tech Agreement for IT Security Services and Smart City Consulting at no cost. The contract that we have with them expires on 12/31/20, and this amendment extends it through 12/31/22 at no additional cost. Nice Tech provides the city with IT security and smart city consulting services. I move that the city council authorize the mayor to sign Addendum 3 to Nice Tech Agreement for IT security services and smart city consulting at no cost as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The matter passes.
Item number 6, discussion and vote, authorization for the mayor to sign Addendum 3 to Bolton St. John's Agreement for Governmental Relations. The governor's executive budget will be released in January of 2021. The legislature reviews and votes on it in time to meet an April 1st deadline. The city needs to have all information available about the governor's budget. Our need to have this information has only increased as 2020 funds for state aid and VLT aid were curtailed by 20%, and all jurisdictions, state, county, and local, are squeezed by decreased revenue collection in the pandemic economy. I want to request 3 additional months of assistance from Bolton St. John, January through March 2021, at the continued reduced monthly rate of $1,000 per month, totaling $3,000. With several $1 million at stake, the expertise of Bolton St. John will be effective and beneficial. I move that the City Council authorize the mayor to sign Addendum 3 of Bolton St. John's Agreement for Governmental Relations as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The matter passes.
The next 4 items are budget transfers and amendment. At year end, these increase as 2020 budget appropriations can be revised through December 31st, 2020, while 2020 bills can be received and paid through February 28th, 2021. Item number 7 is a discussion and vote budget amendment benefits, lines 1 through 4. Amendments cover nominal increases in hospitalization coverage in the general operating and water budgets, totaling $112.23 and $240.96 respectively. I move the City Council approve the budget amendments benefits as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Item number 8, discussion and vote budget transfers benefits, lines 1 through 4. Transfers cover increases in hospitalization and unemployment coverage in the general operating, water, and sewer budgets, totaling $3,562.87, $5,747.51, $3,130.04, respectively. These transfers do not increase or decrease the 2020 budget. They reallocated expense needs. I move that the City Council approve the budget transfers benefits as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Item number 9 is a discussion and vote budget transfers payroll, various lines for transfers to cover various appropriation expenses required through year end to cover expenses in the general operating budget, water, sewer budgets, and capital items, totaling $97,735.10, $16,500, $723.74, and $1,656.64, respectively. These transfers do not increase or decrease the 2020 budget. They reallocated expense needs. I move that the City Council approve the budget amendments benefits as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
That's wrong.
Okay.
That motion's wrong. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I move that the City Council approve the budget transfers payroll as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Item number 10 is a discussion and vote budget transfer to contingency. Lines 1 through 2 transfer funds from contingency to the accounts department to cover appraisal costs in the amount of $6,500 as they relate to the sale of city property. This was discussed by the council during yesterday's executive session. It is an important part of the estimated revenue in the 2021 general operating fund budget. The contingency budget appropriation currently has a balance of $54,783.67. Following the approval of this transfer, there will be $48,283.67 available. I move that the City Council approve the budget transfers contingency as included with the agenda. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you. Item number 11, set public hearing, capital program and budget amendment, New York State Power Authority, NYPA Energy Services Program for streetlights. The New York Power Authority Energy Services Program streetlights will be a capital project and must be reflected in the capital program and budget. Before we sign documents required by NYPA prior to year end, we must revise the capital program and budget. Setting a public hearing is step one. We will have the hearing and take the vote at the last meeting of the year. The same meeting, we hope to approve the documentation required to hold the discount. The discount is worth an estimated $300,000 per year. So five minutes on the 29th of December.
We can 55.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And that completes my agenda. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. On to Public Works.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item on my agenda is discussion and vote. This is authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with SCS Field Service for the Weibel Avenue landfill gas collection control system operations, monitoring, and maintenance services. This is a one-year renewal contract with SCS Field Services for the routine scheduled site visits to monitor, operate, and maintain the Weibel Avenue flare. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign a contract with SCS Field Services for landfill gas collection and control operations, monitoring, and maintenance services not to exceed $23,600, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Second item on my agenda is discussion and vote. This is authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Mahoney Notifier Plus for city building alarm services. This is an annual renewal contract with Mahoney Notifier Plus Incorporated for alarm services at the following city building locations: the Senior Center, Visitor Center, Canfield Casino, Carousel, City Hall, City Recreation Center, the high-level alarms at the 24 sewer pump station locations, Weibel Avenue and Vernon ice rinks. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign a contract with Mahoney Notifier Plus Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $17,640 for monthly alarm services, also technical services at an hourly rate per proposal previously distributed with the agenda, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
The matter passes.
Third item on my agenda is discussion and vote. This is authorization for the mayor to sign Addendum 2 with Schnabel Engineering for the New York for the Loughbury Lake Dam Spillway Project. Addendum 2 is supplemental to the June 19, 2018 agreement and the March 17, 2020 Addendum 1. This addendum is a time extension only, with a new termination date of December 31st, 2021. All other terms, conditions, and provisions of this original agreement remain in effect unless specifically modified. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign Addendum 2 with Schnabel Engineering of New York for the Loughbury Lake Dam Spillway Project, and I put that in form of a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Fourth item on my agenda is discussion and vote. This is authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Creighton Manning Engineering LLP for professional services for the water distribution pipe replacement phase 1. In mid-October 2020, DPW solicited design proposals for phase 1 of a 4-year water infrastructure improvement plan based on the 2012 water mile recommendations by Chazen Engineering. This project includes design services to replace 8,800 feet of all 4 and 6-inch water mains with new 8-inch mains in the State Street and Clement Street neighborhoods. Out of 15 interested engineering firms, the low best qualified proposal is from Creighton Manning Engineering. They also provided excellent services on the Church Street and Woodlawn Avenue water line replacements. Construction is scheduled to take place between May 2021 and November 2022. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign a contract with Creighton Manning Engineering LLP for professional services for water distribution pipe replacement phase 1, in the amount not to exceed $200,955, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Fifth item on my agenda is discussion and vote. This is authorization for the mayor to sign a lease agreement with D&D Power LLC. The following portion of property at 30 Weibel Avenue, far end of the main lot on the blacktop portion of the property to park vehicles. This company is staging their equipment, materials, office trailer, tools, Connex, Porta-John, and dumpster. Basically, they're working with National Grid, and they did approach the city, and they want to just, take a small portion of that parking lot out there. There's really nothing going on, so it's a good way for the city to generate some revenue here. So we came up with a lease agreement of $1,500 for a period ending January 31st, 2021, and that's the month. Payment for December will be prorated at a daily rate of $48.39 for a total lump sum payment of $2,516.19 for the entire lease period, about a month and a half, I guess. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign a lease with D&D Power LLC in the total amount of $2,516.19. And I put that in the form of a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Sixth item on my agenda is discussion and vote. Authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Metro Ford Sales for Ford 350. Recently, the Department of Public Works ordered a new Ford Super Duty 350 crew cab with dual tires and a fifth wheel gooseneck hitch. This new pickup truck will be in the street department and used for plowing city streets and pulling the trailer for a year-round pickup of leaf and debris piles. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign a contract with Metro Ford Sales for the Ford F-350 in an amount of $40,915.20. Put that in form of a motion.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Seventh item on my agenda is discussion and vote. This is authorization for the mayor to sign East Side and West Side recreation field use and maintenance agreement with the City School District. City of Saratoga and the City School District, Saratoga School District, entered into a one-year renewal use and maintenance agreement commencing on January 1st, 2021 and terminating on December 31st, 2021. This agreement is relative to the use, operation, and maintenance of the East Side and West Side recreation fields owned by the school district. For the renewal term, the annual operating contribution shall be in the amount of $110,000, and the annual capital contribution shall be in the amount of $40,000. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign East and West Side recreation field use and maintenance agreement with the city school district, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Eighth item on my agenda is discussion and vote. This is the Department of Public Works 2021 city fees. The Department of Public Works has updated the 2021 city fees. The fee schedule has been previously distributed with the agenda. Therefore, I move for approval of the Department of Public Works 2021 city fees, and I put that in form of a motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
And that concludes my agenda, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. On to public safety.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item on my agenda is a COVID-19 update. In the last 7 days, there have been 915 new COVID-19 cases in Saratoga County for a total number of active cases of 1,267. 155 of those are in the city of Saratoga Springs, which is down a bit from this weekend of 167 cases. There are additionally 1,436 people in quarantine in Saratoga County. We have 24 people hospitalized. Saratoga Hospital, I believe, has 15 inpatients right now. Our hospitalization rates have remained relatively stable, which is a positive. But our 7-day rolling average right now for the county is over 5%, I know, 5.63%. So that number has been on the rise quite a bit, which is a bit concerning. But as of right now, the governor and New York State have not indicated that we are in any other zone. We have not been given a microcluster designation. We are not in the yellow, orange, or red zone. Several people have asked me daily, if we think we're going to be moving into one of those zones and what the metrics would be for that to trigger that kind of designation. And it's very confusing. There's no one metric that puts you into a microcluster zone. It's a formula that the state has, and it emphasizes hospitalization and positivity rates as like the two main factors. But we are watching and listening, and if we have any indication at all that we are going to be declared a microcluster zone, we will let residents know right away. Lastly, the city and public safety are going to be providing free face masks for people who need them. We will have them on Friday in 3 different locations. In City Hall, immediately inside the police department, which is the Lake Avenue entrance of City Hall. It'll be when you walk in the door immediately to your left. Inside the Recreation Center over on Vanderbilt, and also at the Franklin Community Center, which is at 10 Franklin Street. And so that's just going to be for anyone who needs one, come in, take a mask, and we are happy to be able to provide a little PPE for people who need a mask at this time. So that concludes my first item. Does anyone have any questions?
Commissioner, I think it's great with the mask distribution, and they're reusable, correct?
So actually, these ones are basically single use.
Oh, okay.
We wanted to be able to provide as many as possible for people right now. So they're single use, but hopefully we can get them into the hands of more people.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. The second item on my agenda is discussion and vote, amend Chapter 225 of the City Code, Section 225-94, Schedule 29, alternate side of the street parking. I make a motion to amend Chapter 225 of the City Code, Section 225-94, Schedule 29, alternate side of the street parking, from Washington Street to Cherry Street, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, parking on west side of the street. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you. The third item on my agenda is discussion and vote, the Department of Public Safety fees. The fees have been attached to the agenda. I make a motion for the City Council to approve the Department of Public Safety fees for 2021. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you. The fourth item on my agenda is discussion and vote authorization to pay an invoice to the Connors Group. This invoice has to be approved by the City Council for a professional service that was done without having a purchase order issued. The service was a suicide prevention class for the fire department. I make a motion that the City Council authorize the payment to the Connors Group in the amount of $750. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
The fifth item on my agenda is discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign contracts with Flexipol for the police and fire departments. The police and fire departments have had service agreements with Flexipol for many years. Flexipol is not a sole source, and it is mainly a software training company that offers policy templates and third-party audits for our current policies and procedures. A discussion with purchasing determined that risk and safety should put these agreements in contract form and into insurance compliance. for the fire and police departments and have them approved by the city council. I make a motion for the mayor to sign contracts with Flexible for the police and fire departments. This is a motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The matter passes.
Thank you. And then the last item on my agenda is an announcement about overtime savings in the police department. I just wanted to thank the police department because when this pandemic hit, one of the first things we knew was that we were going to be looking at a budget crunch, and we asked them to really cut down overtime as much as humanly possible. And this year alone, since that request was made, we were able to save 8,118 hours of overtime from 2019, which amounted to a savings of $487,000. I want to thank them because this is not a reflection of mismanagement or waste at all. This is really asking our department to work as efficiently, but also take, training and extras and added elements of investigations that we would like to do, but really don't have money to do off the table. And they have just done a tremendous job. Not an ideal way to operate, but in a budget, we want to do our part. And I just wanted to thank them for their contribution. And that concludes my agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner. And we're moving on to the supervisors, but I still don't see that they arrived. Is that correct?
I think they're still in a very, very, very long time.
Okay. So
yeah, they're not here.
Okay, then there's any other comments from the council? Then we are adjourned. Thank you. And we'll see you on the 29th at 2:55.
2:55 now.
2:55. Yep. Okay, for a public hearing. Okay,
hey, not
thank
bad.
you.
It's not even 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you and good night.
Public affairs programming on Look TV is underwritten by the generous support of Pinnell's Restaurant, classic Italian American food since 1922, and Stored Tech, technology solutions for computers, networks, and phone. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
1922, Babe Ruth debuts with the Yankees. WGY signs on air. Exterminator wins the Saratoge Cup, and Pinnell's Restaurant opens its doors for the very first time. For 5 generations, Pinnell's has been preparing delicious Italian food, served in a comfortable, home-like setting where everyone is welcomed. 90 years of authentic Italian recipes, 90 years of the freshest ingredients, and 90 years of the finest classic Italian dishes, all made daily by hand. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga dining tradition since 1922.
Most cybersecurity firms deal only with prevention, the systems that block hackers and viruses. Stored Tech knows the root cause is actually good people doing bad things. So we offer a security training program which includes certifying all participants to show they understand the basics.
Technology solutions for computers, networks, and phones. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.